What is going on, Niner fans, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world? What's going on? The 49ers continue to make moves. So far, I am loving free agency. I'm loving the way the 49ers are handling this situation. They've had some roster holes, some free agents, some guys they needed to bring back, and they're doing just that. They're creating cap space. They made a splash. They're bringing players back that we wanted back. They needed to fix that offensive line or keep some stability. And today they did it. Their first move of the day was re-signing Jake Brendel on a 4-year deal. The details have now emerged. According to Ian Rappaport, he said that the 49ers re-signed Jake Brendel on a 4-year deal with a max value of $20 million. He's going to get $8 million guaranteed. That's pretty damn good for a player that's going to be a 4-year starter. That's a value. Again, 49ers find value. They got this guy who is a journeyman. He never started until 2018. The 49ers gave him a role last year. He won the starting job after Alex Mack retired, and he came in and he became a starting center, and he earned a good money. This guy was a player that was bouncing around the league. He was on practice squads. He never really started, and the 49ers gave him an opportunity to be their starter after Alex Mack, he retired, and it was kind of like a dire straight situation. So here's this guy, Brendel, who kicked it into high gear. He trained, he put everything he could together to be a starter for this team, and they rewarded him, man. That was absolutely amazing for Jake Brendel. And the 49ers now, they pretty much have their offensive line set. They have a projected offensive line. If you think about it, it looks like they know who's going to be their O line. You got Trent Williams, you got Aaron Banks, who really stepped into his own last year in his first year playing in the league. Then Jake Brendel, who was a very good offensive lineman for the 49ers, and I really think he can improve because that was the first year he ever played as a starter in the league, and he's only going to get better. He'll train and put that work in like he did last year. He was training a lot, and I think he'll continue to do that. And then on the other side, you have the right side. You have Spencer Burford, who was a rookie last year, and he played phenomenally well for a rookie who can only improve. And then right tackle, that's your big question mark. But it was a question mark last year with Mike McGlinchey, who's getting paid a lot of money, now with Denver Broncos. They give him about $50 million guaranteed. The 49ers now have a right tackle in Colton McKivitz, who will be there for 2 years. It's going to be a lot cheaper than what you would have had to pay Mike McGlinchey to retain him. So the 49ers have a value offensive line, but they have players that can step up. And Kyle Shanahan knows how to scheme and get players to block and do the things they need to do, run in their lanes, stay in their lanes for the offensive line. So I'm happy with how it went down. I'm optimistic for how the 49ers are going to be able to move forward with their offensive line. And again, you got to realize the 49ers have players like Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle. And then in the second level, you have Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk. They know how to block at every position on this field. And I think even though Jake Brendel's not the sexy name that you might want, he was good with the 49ers and he fits the scheme. And Kyle Shanahan knows how to get the most out of his offensive linemen. So I think it was a great move. Again, 49ers know how to utilize their linemen and put them in positions to win. And then you have guys like Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle who are going to help the blocking game. We forget about that, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, this line isn't great. But when you have players like Kyle Juszczyk and Kittle that can be, utilized on this team, it's amazing. They're like extra linemen. So great to see. I'm happy for Jake Brendel. The guy's a 30-year-old man, and he finally found a home. He bounced around the league for years. He earned a long-term deal at 30 years old. I want to look at Jake Brendel's career history. Let's look at Jake Brendel's career history, shall we? Listen, this is crazy to me of all the years he's played. So I'm going to pull up his profile here. This guy, he played college football at UCLA. He was signed by Dallas Cowboys as an undrafted free agent in 2016. He was on the practice squad on the Cowboys. He got released. He went to the Dolphins for 2 years. He never made their roster in terms of being a starter. And then he went to the Broncos in 2019 as the practice squad member. He went to the Ravens, cut. And then he went to the 49ers in 2020, and he stuck around and he stuck on that roster. And they finally gave him an opportunity last year when Alex Mack retired, and he took it, and now he earned a 4-year deal, man. Unbelievable. So, good journey for Jake Brendel. Great journey for Jake Brendel. Blood Moon says the Giants are trading for Darren Waller. Yes. Did you see that breaking news? They did trade for Darren Waller. The Giants traded a third-round pick for Darren Waller. So, big news for the Giants. But yeah, for the 49ers, this is an absolute great signing, man. A guy that bounced around the league. Shout out to my boy, Jake Brendel. Secured the bag. That's an amazing story. To me, that's a great story. This guy bounced around the league and was a journeyman, a cast-off. Never even started a game until I think he started a game in 2018 for the Dolphins. Yeah, it says he appeared in one game. He appeared in all 16 games in 2017 for the Dolphins as a backup center. In 2018, he was on the injured reserve with the calf injury. He played in 4 games. He started 3 games at left guard and center due to injuries for the Dolphins in 2018. He was placed back on injured reserve with the calf injury in that season. So, I mean, he got moved around. He had one season where he actually played some games for the Dolphins. They got rid of him. He went to the Broncos, signed, released. Ravens signed, released. This guy was trying to find a home, signing with teams left and right, and the 49ers finally gave this guy an opportunity. They actually waived him in 2021 on the final roster because they waived the guy. But he re-signed last year, and he made it as a starter. That's an amazing story, man. Jake Brendel. Jake Brendel, after bouncing around the league, man, that's pretty dope, dude. That I gotta say, 30-year-old guy bounced around the league. 49ers finally gave him the opportunity he always wanted, and he made it work. He put that work in, and now he's got a 4-year contract. That is a actual great story. Shout out to the 49ers, man. Gotta love it. Big move. I think that's a good, solid move for the 49ers because they've had different centers every year. They've never had stability at this position. You know, when Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch came, they've never really had a solid center. They had Weston Richburg, who kept getting hurt. He kept getting hurt every year. And then, you know, Alex Mack, that was great when we had Alex Mack. And then the problem was he retired. So we've been signing all these centers over the years. And then Weston Richburg was paid a lot of money, but then he couldn't stay healthy, and it was unfortunate. So I'm definitely a fan of Jake Brendel, and if he can stay healthy, man, that's even a bigger dub because we need stability, an absolute stability at the center position. It's important to have stability at center. You need a guy that can come in and you know, make sure you can get the ball to your quarterback. And he was a good pass blocker. I believe he was the number 3 pass blocking center in the NFL in efficiency. So definitely a good player to have. We want to protect the quarterback, and he was number 3 in pass block efficiency. He can definitely improve in running, his run blocking, but that's something the 49ers are great at, run blocking. Again, you have Kittle and Juice, and they'll help him away. And honestly, he can get better in those in that aspect. So take a couple questions here. What are the Raiders doing? Waller for a 3rd rounder? Yeah, that's crazy. We could have done that just because. That was wild, actually. You're right. That's kind of crazy to me that the Giants got him for a bag of chips and peanuts, man. Blood Moon says San Fran could have gotten Waller. We need that tight end too. I agree, man. That would have been a phenomenal move. I can't believe we didn't cash in to get Darren Waller like that. 3rd round pick? 3rd round pick? They stole him. The Giants stole him. That's large. That's actually robbing a bank. That's crazy. Brian Daboll, I think he went over to the Raiders' home. He went to the Raiders. He went to their home. He took the GM out of a window and took a GUN to his head and robbed him. Robbed him blind. That's crazy. Well, Waller could have helped Kittle. He definitely could have. Are you kidding me? Would have been amazing. Ryan says, who's another guy that we could sign today? I think we get Emmanuel Mosley back today. Hector says he's injury prone. He is a little injury prone, but he's a damn good player when he's healthy, man. The Giants needed a guy. The Giants, they just made themselves a bigger contender in the NFC. They needed that guy. They got to separate yourself from the pack somehow. That was a good move for the Giants. I think so. They created a felony for that. Oh, man. But no, my prediction, so far I'm 1 for 1 today. I said Jake Brendel will be re-signed with the 49ers. And Emmanuel Mosley, I think, will sign tonight with the 49ers. Stay tuned. Stay locked in. What do you guys think about the center? move. I think it's good because it creates stability for the 49ers. That's something they've been missing, again, with the 49ers in terms of their center position. They have never had stability at the center position. And now, if this guy stays healthy, Jake Brendel, we're good to go. And it was a cheap deal. That's a steal for a guy that could be a 4-year center, right? It is, again, 4-year deal worth a max of 20 million. That's with incentives, when they put all the extra bonuses, workout bonuses, $20 million for a starting center. And the guy was number 3 in pass block efficiency last year. That's a pretty good move, man. Shout out to him. And my favorite part of the whole situation for Jake Brendel is that the Jets offered Jake Brendel more money than the 49ers. They offered him more money. And he says, no, I'm going to stay with the 49ers. Because you know what? The 49ers gave him the opportunity that no other team gave him over the years, right? Like we just talked about. The 49ers gave him that opportunity. And he rewarded him with being loyal. He says, you know what? This team kept me. They worked me up. They developed me. I'm going to stay with the 49ers. And obviously, they got a great locker room, a great team of guys. It's a great group, man. 4 years. This guy is finally getting an opportunity to be a starter, and the 49ers rewarded him. That is amazing, man. The Jets gave him, according to these reports, the Jets offered more money. And he said, no, you know what? I'm going to stay with the Niners because these guys gave me that opportunity that no team did ever before. So loyalty pays, man. Good stuff. I absolutely love the fact that the 49ers were able to retain Jake Brendel. I think it's a solid move. He was good center, man. Again, 3rd in pass blocking efficiency in the whole entire NFL last year. And it was his first year as a starting center. That is what blows my mind. He played really well. So this is a good comment here by Maranisha. Says, I love it. We don't have to start all over with someone new. And that right there is important. You don't have to get a new guy. Has to learn the system, learn the scheme. The quarterbacks on the roster are comfortable with Jake Brendel. They know how he is in that huddle. They know how he is when he's going to snap the ball. And that's key. For a center, you have to have good communication. You have to have good ability to have, communication with the quarterback. And that's important. He doesn't have to come in, get a new guy, learn everything new, learn the scheme. And then you have 2 younger guys, Nick Zakelj and Jason Poe, who can learn under him and be depth pieces. And maybe they can slide to guard. And it gives you more depth now. And it's good for the younger guys because now 2 younger guys don't have all that pressure of being the top guy. Oh, my God. Because Nick Zakelj, rookie last year, Jason Poe, rookie last year, that would have been a lot of pressure on their shoulders. So it's good. You get a guy that's been in the league. He knows the system. He has good communication with the rest of the team. And he can be a mentor for these younger guys on the team. And it gives them good depth. Now the 49ers have excellent depth at center position and then the O-line position. Because, again, Zakelj and Jason Poe can be sliding to the guard position. And that gives you depth because injuries happen, unfortunately. And now the 49ers, you have Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, and Colton McKivitz. You got Nick Zakelj, Jalen Moore. You got Jason Poe. So you have some good quality depth now. I love it. Good stuff. Absolute amazing news for me. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my takeaway of re-signing Jake Brendel. I liked it, man. Just a quick live. I wanted to come on and let you guys know my thoughts on the situation. Again, Jake Brendel, 4-year deal with the 49ers. He gets 4 years up to $20 million with $8 million guaranteed. He's going to be your starter for the next 4 years. Brings them stability and a good veteran guy in the locker room. Great story. The guy, journeyman, bounced around the league for many, many years. Finally got an opportunity to the 49ers. 30 years old. He turns it into a 4-year contract worth up to $20 million. Good story, man. Great for Jake Brendel. I think it's a steal of a deal, and it's a great story for the 49ers and Jake Brendel. And again, lastly, the Jets offered more money, and he turned it down to stay with the squad. Let's run it back, man. Good news for Jake. We'll be back live a little later. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Go Niners.